Hey guys, this is I am Vanguard doing a deck comparison of the Shadow Paladins. So let's get right to it. I got two starters, Claudius Avenger and Flubel. I'll start with Flubel because it's the original Shadow Paladins, apparently. Flubel is a starter for the Ride Chain in Shadow Paladins, which was released a while back for us. Blaster Javelin rides over this unit, search for a card called Blaster Dark, so you get a insured ride to the grade 2, so a good starter. And then there's another starter called Creeping Dark Goat, which is a tech that even nowadays people would use, but it's Counterblast 1, put it in the soul, and search for a grade 3, so that's definitely a good card to have. And then some of the grade 1 choices the original Shadow Paladins had was Blaster Javelin, of course. If it's in the rear, you can discard a Shadow Paladin grade 3 for a Phantom Blaster Dragon. So again, that's another insured ride if you have it on the rear. So Blaster Javelin was definitely a tech that a lot of people use. And there was Erin Rod, which her effect rest and discard and draw a card. So she's a filter card, hand filter card. Definitely good. She's 7k also, so that's great. And then, of course, there was Nightmare Painter. Put it when it's placed on the Vanguard rear. Put something in the soul. Shadow Paladin in the soul. So usually you put your Phantom Blaster Dragon that you have in your hand. So when you ride Overlord, he'll be a 13 attacker and a defense. So that's very good. Grubau is a 9k attacker if you have a Shadow Paladin Vanguard. So I mean, obviously you're running Shadow, so a 9k attacker is really good. Just gives the opponent a lot of pressure. And then grade 2s, there was Blaster Dark, which everyone liked when he first came out. When he's placed on the Vanguard, Counterblast 2, retire anything that's grade 2 or lower. So he's a Blaster Blade basically, but with an extra 10k if you have Blaster Javelin in the soul. So Blaster Dark is good. And then there was Cursed Lancer. Cursed Lancer is from the Vanguard or the Rearguard if you hit on flip 1. So he's a card that definitely a lot of Shadow Paladins players needed to unflip damage and reuse the effects. Masquerade, a 12k if you have a Blaster Vanguard, which starting from Blaster Javelin, Blaster Dark, Phantom Blaster Dragon, Overlord, he's a good card. And then there was Maka. Maka is a card that kind of divided every other deck. Like Shadows just divided just because of this card, in my opinion. It's Counterblast 2. When it's placed on the Vanguard or Rearguard, you can call grade 1 below it. So here. So if he's placed on the rear, it's below him. If it's placed on the Vanguard, it's in the bottom of the Vanguard circle. So she gives you an extra card for Counterblast 2, so it's a good trade-off. But the only thing was she was 8k, so I mean, she's a good card that opponent can rush if you ride her, or if it's in the rear guard, it's just an easy target for Overlord DN. So I mean, she's a good card, but still there was this not so great things about her also. And then there was Skullwitch Nemen. Nemen's like the card that I actually looked into because you Counterblast 1, discard a Shadow Paladin and draw 2 cards. I mean, just that was really amazing, but the only catch was she was a 3k, which also was an easy target for rush decks or Overlord DN. So Nemen's a great plus card, but you gotta get rid of her with the interception real quick. And then going on to grade 3s, there was Phantom Blaster Dragon. Phantom Blaster Dragon is a ride chain also. If you have Blaster Dark, it's 11k, and then Counterblast 2, choose one of 3 of your Shadow Paladins and get a plus 10k and a critical. So if the opponent didn't have a perfect card, it just gives you an insured damage, so pretty good card. And then Phantom Blaster Overlord is also kind of does the same thing. Counterblast 3, discard the same copy of itself and gets plus 10k and a critical. And if you had Phantom Blaster Dragon in the Soul, he would be a 13. So POB was really good when it came out. And then, just my opinion, the better text. Ildona is a limit breaker. Counterblast 2, retire two of the rear guards, and then draw 2 cards and gain 3k. So that's definitely a better card to put over Phantom Blaster. The only catch was with these two, they were only 10k, so it was the defense issues. But I mean, to be honest, with all that hand, the disadvantage didn't matter too much. Dark Dictator is a 20 attacker because if you have like 5 rear guards, you get plus 2k from each of it, so he's a 20k attacker basically. Can't be boosted by the card the card behind it. And then if you have 3 cards in the soul, give 2 of your front rear guards plus 5. So I mean, this card is great. Just extra power, and then ride over Ildona to gain your pluses back. So I mean, just overall comparing these two decks, Ildona was a better choice. Going on to the Revengers, I guess I'll show you how the Shadow Paladins got upgraded in a way. The starter Claudius Revenger, if you have a grade 3 Shadow Paladin unit, Counterblast 1, put it in the soul, and call Blaster Dark from your deck. So it's an automatic call, you get an interceptor, and you can retire if you call Blaster Dark, so definitely a great card. Grade 1s, there were Doran. Doran's a very good card. Blaster Dark, in front of you, it gets unflip with damage, so it's a better Curse Lancer. Masquerade, a better Grubel. We call it a K clone. It gets 3k if you have a Revenger. Vanguard, so when it attacks, so it's a 10k attacker. That's great. And then Blaster Dark, Counterblast 2, retire anything in the front when you're in the Vanguard and the rear guard. So I mean, instead of riding in the Vanguard, you can just put it in the rear guard and use it as an interceptor. So it's a better version of Blaster Dark. Masquerade, just 12k, so it kind of evens it out, but you know, it just kind of looks cooler, I guess. That's my excuse. And then there's Tart2, which is a better Maka, same effects, but the Tart2 has to search for a Revenger, but she's a 9k, so she can actually do something in the rear, so better card. And then grade 3 is pretty simple, because that's what most people run. It's Madrid. Madrid's a break ride. Counterblast 1, when a grade 3 rides over this card, or Shadow Paladin rides over it, 10k, and then call something from your deck to the rear and it gets 5k. So it's a better Ildona in a way. Like, I mean, not really, but it gives a +1 for you, and then you get an extra attack with an extra boost. I mean, it's such a great card. Definitely better than the originals. Raging Form, this the card that kind of divides the original Shadows from the Revengers. Just does so much work. What Limit Break, when you attack, it can hit, it doesn't have to hit, but you have to retire 3 and then ride the same card over him and then get plus 10k. So it's a standing Vanguard, it's a self-army basically, so very good card. And then Counterblast, a special Counterblast, and then, you know, gets a +3, so he's attacking for 14 by himself, so he can fight over cross rides by himself, so it's a very good card. I mean, I just really love Shadow Paladins, but had to do some comparison videos because, I mean, I just really got divided a lot. But for all you Shadow Paladin fans, that's my thoughts about these two decks. Just did a little comparison, how good and bad, and you know, what are equal. But definitely overall, I love Shadow Paladins and love the Revengers and the Shadows. That's why I have both. I hope you guys like Shadows also. Comment, rate, subscribe down below, and image to victory. I am Vanguard. Thanks for watching.